actually, it looks pretty darn good. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm honestly very scared, but let's give it a shot. So I'm gonna line it up. Here we go. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. If this is your first time here, welcome. And if it's not your first time here, thanks for coming back. So today, I am gonna be doing a testing new makeup video. This is my second attempt because I did film this a few days ago and I was out of focus. So that kind of sucks. But the good news is I've used these products now, not just once, but at least twice. So I can give you a little more insight to my thoughts. But a couple of the major things I'm using today are the new Tower 28 concealers. I did receive these in PR from the brand. I did do this eye look with the Natasha Denona Mini Starlette. I have a couple of new products from Juvia's Place, their cream bronzer, their lip oil. So if you want to see my thoughts on those, see them in action, then you are at the right place. I'm gonna link everything down in the description box. The new stuff, the other stuff that I use off camera, it's all gonna be in the description box. And if you do enjoy this video while you're watching it, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Okay, so as I'm sure I've already mentioned in the intro, I've already kind of filmed this video. So a lot of the products that I'm gonna use today are not really first impressions, but they are pretty much new to me. And the first one is the Natasha Denona Mini Starlette palette. I did use this in a testing new makeup video last week, but I've only used it that one time. So I'm excited to create a look again with this. Now, with this palette, there are 3 mattes and 2 metallics. I think the tones are absolutely beautiful. You've got a mixture of like cool, warm, and neutral. I love that the 3 mattes are varying in depth. And these 2 shimmers are definitely different. There is one more traditional, more like rose gold shimmer. And then there is this sparklier type of shimmer that is just a little extra zhuzh, a little extra special. So I really appreciate that there is some sort of variety in here. This is one of her mini palettes. It does retail for $27. So we're gonna create a look with this. In my last look, I used all 5 shades. I'm gonna do the same. It's probably gonna be pretty similar, the look that I usually go to, you know? I've already primed my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Potion. I did order this on Sephora's website, and I actually had it delivered to me while I was on vacation. That's how excited about it I was. Let me know if you picked this up. I'm gonna first start off with this shade, the lightest matte in the center, and I am gonna pick it up on a Singe Beauty EO3 brush, and I'm just gonna place it into my crease. All right, so as you can see, that just gave a really pretty peachy transition shade on my skin tone. Of course, like seeing this in person, it is definitely light to mid-tone. The deepest shade is not super deep, but it is a little bit more saturated in person than I thought it was going to be. If you have a tan to deep skin tone and you picked up this palette, can you let me know how it's working for you? Because I'm curious about that. I'm gonna go in with the next deepest matte over here, and I'm just gonna place it a little bit lower in the crease and a little bit on the outer corner. And see, for me, that created a little bit more depth, as you can see, so I think that's nice. I'm gonna go in with the deepest matte shade here and just place that in the outer corner. This one is a little more cool toned. So that's all 3 of the mattes built up on my eyes. I did layer that darkest matte quite a few times, and this is as dark as it's gonna get, you know? So again, it's not like the most depthy little palette, but I feel like this would be nice as a companion palette with some of her other minis, which I always love doing, like mixing and matching them. I'm gonna put on the NYX Glitter Primer all over my lid. I'm gonna go first with that slightly deeper shimmer here and just place it all over the lid. And then I'm gonna take this last shimmer here and I'm gonna put it on a brush and spray it. I found last time I used my finger and then kind of later on in the day, just playing with it. Sometimes, you know, I go back and just kind of play with it. I did put it on a brush and spray it and put it on top, and it made it even more twinkly. And that's never a bad thing in my opinion. So those are all 5 of the shades used on my eyes. Listen, I love just a soft, pretty, neutral look, and that is precisely what this is giving me. So, I don't know, what do you think? Let me know your thoughts on this. We'll continue with the lower lash line and everything after I put on concealer, etc. But before we get to that, I have a very interesting product that I'm a little scared to try out, but we're gonna do it. Do you remember this product? Because I was just sent this in PR from Kaja. This is the Wink Stamp Winged Eyeliner Pen and Stamp. I'm someone who wears winged eyeliner a whole lot, and I'm actually pretty good at it at this point. I've done it enough where I've got a lot of practice under my belt, but this could be good for someone that's trying to figure it out, trying to get it done quick, is having a harder time being able to perfect a wing. It also could be a disaster. So let me find that out for you. This is the most strange box to open.
3,000 years later.
Okay, we're definitely gonna have to read directions. This is the long version, so I guess they have probably a mini wing and then a regular long wing. It does retail for $29. It has 612 reviews on Sephora at 5 stars. So it's obviously working for some people. Hopefully that'll be me. Let's read the directions. So it says, place the stamp along the outer edge of the eye. The wing's longest edge should connect to and align with lower lashes, creating a continuous line. Press down firmly. Okay, so we'll start with that. So here is the actual wing pen thingamajig. It has a left and a right. So let's start with the right. That's always the better side for me. So here is what it looks like. I'm honestly very scared, but let's give it a shot. So I'm gonna line it up. Here we go. Well, that looks awful. Let's do the other side.
No.
First of all, that wing looked not like a wing at all. It looks like just a glob. And these are not even. It is very difficult to see how you're putting the stamp on. It's very difficult to see. Let me see if I can fix the situation. The next step is line. Use the eyeliner pen to draw along the lashes connecting the wing. Right. And this is a felt tip, so I don't really like felt tips. I find them very difficult to use, but it's okay. We're gonna do it anyway. So what do you think? I'm gonna go off camera and I'm going to try to fix the situation because I have to be so close to a mirror with my elbows on my desk. I'll be right back.
3 hours later.
Okay, so in the end, I saved it somewhat. I have cat hair on my lips. I used the KVD liner because that's a brush tip. I just find it so much easier to work with. Are they even? No, they're still not even, but they're close enough for me. I can kind of see where it can give you a guide. Like it was quicker for me to then go in with an eyeliner, and after having the framework there to perfect it, I'm gonna have to keep playing with it. The only kind of thing I have is like looking at the shape of the wing stamp and putting it on my eye. It didn't really transfer the whole wing onto my eye, and I think that's just because of my age. Like the skin around my eyes is not very tight, so I don't feel like it really was able to like flatly press, if that makes sense. I'm gonna continue using it. I'm gonna continue using everything here. This isn't like a review situation. I've got to use these products quite a few times, and I'll put them in a speed reviews in the future. So anyway, we got it there. All right, so I just put on some lash primer, and I'm gonna use the Benefit Fan Fest mascara. This is their new mascara that they have out. I did already use this. I've been using this for a few days since I attempted to film this video before. Can you tell I'm salty about it? But I've actually been really enjoying this mascara. It has a very curved applicator, and it is like a bristly tip, Christmas tree tip, fur tip, if you know what I mean. I prefer like a more silicone type of applicator, but actually this is nice for more like separated wispy lashes. I don't feel like it gives a ton of volume, but it's not really claiming to do that. I did just get a little sample, like a gift with purchase. You can buy this mini for $15, or you can get a full size for $28. Not that you're really gonna be able to see it that well because of the winged liner, but I am going to apply this and I'll show you what it looks like. So with a lash primer underneath, it does give a little more like something for the mascara to hold on to. Obviously, that's part of the point of a lash primer, and I always use a lash primer just because I need help with my lashes. So I don't know if you can tell, but it does do a good job of curling the lashes, giving that length. With the lash primer, it does also give it a little more volume as well. So far so good with this. I'll keep you posted on it. You know, most times when I wear makeup, I wear false lashes, so most of the time I don't need mascara to work magic for me. So next product we're gonna get into is concealer. I was sent from Tower 28 their new concealer. So excited to receive a package from them. So excited. So I did get 2 shades in. I really feel like these are gonna be too dark for me, unfortunately, but this is the Swipe All Over Hydrating Serum Concealer. I am not a hydrating concealer girly. I need like a natural to matte finish because I have very crinkly under eyes. I have very dark under eyes. I actually have the e.l.f. color corrector in peach under my eyes right now because without it, like I did not sleep many hours last night, so it would have been scary. I always wear a color corrector and I definitely prefer a natural to matte finish, but this will be a good test, right? I'm gonna wear this all day and I'm going to the movies later. So like if it looks like crap later on, it's okay because I'll be in the dark and nobody can really see me, you know? So it does retail for $22. It does come in 20 shades. It's got a whole bunch of skincare ingredients. It's supposed to have a medium coverage, and on Sephora, even though it says hydrating concealer, it does say it has a natural finish. Okay, so I got the shades LBC and K-Town. K-Town is described as a medium with neutral undertones, and then LBC is described as a medium with warm peach undertones. I'm gonna go with K-Town just because it looks slightly lighter. If this is too dark under my eyes, I am gonna mix it with something else, just because like I said, I do have to wear this all day, but let's give it a shot. It just has like a flat doe foot applicator. Actually, I'm just gonna start with that small amount of product. I'm gonna take a beauty blender and just blend it out. Like I said, I used a pretty small amount. That actually looks pretty nice. I'm gonna put some on the side of my nose here because I definitely brought the color corrector too far over. That shade actually looks pretty darn good. That actually looks pretty darn good. That makes me really happy. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to use these. So that's what it looks like blended out, the side with, the side without. I would definitely say medium coverage is about right. It looks nice. It is starting to settle a little bit, but again, I kind of expect that from a hydrating concealer, but it does look nice. It does look nice. Okay, let me pop it on the other side. I'll show you what it looks like before I set it. Okay, so that's what it looks like blended out on both of my eyes. Like I said, the shade K-Town actually works perfect for me. So it's described as a medium. I'm never a medium in concealer, ever. It doesn't matter how tan I get. I like my concealer to just be slightly lighter than my foundation. Not super brightening, but definitely not the same shade either. So I think this does the job pretty nicely. What do you think? Like I said, it is already starting to move into the lines, but you know, that's kind of what happens with the hydrating concealer. Okay, I'm gonna go off camera. I'm gonna set it with a powder that I know and love, which is the Maybelline Fit Me. I do already have foundation on my face, by the way. I don't have it on my chin because my chin is really irritated right now, so I'm waiting till the last possible second to put foundation on it. But I've got the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation on the rest of my face. I'm gonna put everything down in the description box, by the way. Okay, let me go set my under eyes. I'll be right back. All right, so this is the concealer set. I kind of went a little overboard on the powder just because I want it to last, right? And I don't mind if it looks a little dry versus it creasing like crazy. That's just my preference. So I did kind of overdo it a little bit with the powder, so it does look a little dry, but actually it looks pretty darn good. I'm pleasantly surprised. So I will keep you posted. I will put a note down in the description box letting you know like how this wore and everything. And of course, I will continue testing it. I'll put it in a video in the future to let you know. So, all right, the next product we're gonna talk about, again, I have used in that last video and a couple times since. This is the new Juvia's Place Cream Bronzer. I was so excited when I saw that they were releasing a cream bronzer. The packaging of this is really interesting. It's very, very flat, like a air hockey puck. That's how I keep describing it because that's really what it reminds me of. I did get the shade Honey, which is the second to lightest shade. And here's what it looks like in the inside. I love how big the pan is, like wide width-wise. So you can really get any kind of size of brush or sponge in there that you may need. There are 8 shade options. It does retail for $18. I got mine on the Ulta website. So it's claiming that it has shimmering pearls and glides smoothly onto the skin, creating a seamless and radiant finish that mimics the warm embrace of the sun. I don't really see the pearl. I guess if I look really close, I see it. But when it's on my face, I don't think I see it. In the first video that I recorded, I used a brush and it was way too pigmented for my skin tone. Like it just looked way too heavy, more than I personally like. So I would say if you're my skin tone or lighter and you prefer to use a brush, I would go with the lighter shade, or the lightest shade, I should say, which is called Buttercream. But I have been enjoying using this with a sponge. I feel like it shears it out a little bit better. It adds less product onto the face at once, obviously. So I'm gonna apply it with the beauty blender that I have here. But overall, these are pretty darn pigmented, which I'm not surprised. Like Juvia's Place face products tend to be pretty pigmented. So let me just apply this here. And this, again, like right now is the tannest I'm gonna be. Like I'm pretty tan, I'm wearing my summer foundation. So like I said, if you are my skin tone or lighter, this shade kind of borders too deep for me. But it does blend out really easily. It doesn't look patchy. And like I said, I don't really see a ton of pearl, a ton of shimmer, which is great because I don't personally love that. And by the way, I guess I probably should have said this in the beginning. I have an oily skin type, very oily skin type. One thing that is a little unfortunate with Juvia's Place products at Ulta, at least on the Ulta website, they don't have a description of like what the undertone is or anything, so you're kind of guessing. But I would say that this is leaning on the warm side, but I don't think it's too warm where it's orangey. But this is it blended out on my face with a sponge. I think it's nice. Is it gonna be like my go-to cream bronzer? I don't know, maybe not, just because I do have to be a little careful with it, but I do think it's pretty. I do think it's pretty. All right, the next product I want to talk about is I bought a new shade of the Fenty Beauty Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush. This one is in the shade Peach Face. Once again, I did already use this in my first video. As you can see, there's a piece of hair in that. I think it's a brush hair. Ew. But this is a beautiful peachy color. This one definitely has pearl reflect in there. And spoiler alert, I thought it was really beautiful on the face. I mean, I love this formula. It's one of my favorite cream blush formulas. I feel like it has stood the test of time for sure. And for my oily skin, I think it's just a really nice natural finish. It lasts on my face all day. So I'm gonna pop this on my cheeks here. It's definitely more on the buildable side. Like it's not ultra pigmented, which you may or may not like. I would prefer it to be a little more pigmented because I really do have to go in several times to build it up, but I do really love this color. I have the shade Petal Poppin', which is like a neutral pink. I bought that literally when they first launched these products, so a long time ago, and I still use it all the time. I wore it on my wedding day. It is just a beautiful pink blush. I'm not really a pink blush girl, but it is just like a perfect, like I said, neutral pink. So that's what it looks like blended out. It is beautiful. Now, it definitely has a sheen to it. So I don't mind that. I mean, again, I prefer something a little more satin because I just have a lot of texture and I'm very oily, but the color is gorgeous. The color is gorgeous, and I'm so excited. They're continuing to come out with more shades of this. If you love this blush as much as I do, what's your go-to shade? Like, I would love to know. All right, the last new product I picked up is the new Juvia's Place lip oil. So this is in Sweet Orange. It does come in 5 different shades. They are very slightly tinted on the lips. It does retail for $10. I will say this is claiming to be Sweet Orange. but I don't smell any scent at all whatsoever. Take that with a grain of salt. I guess I don't have the best sense of smell because I've watched a lot of other creators do videos on makeup that is scented, and they'll smell it and go, oh, it smells like this. And then I go to smell mine, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I never really realized it before. I can sort of smell it. So I guess I don't have the best sense of smell, but I can't smell any sort of smell with this. So I'm gonna put it on just on my bare lips so you can see. I will say it is beautiful. Like the experience of putting this on is so glidey. It's like a little bit more on the thicker side, which I prefer. It is such a gorgeous texture. I will say too though, I've only used this a handful of times and already like almost half the product is gone. So it does not come with a lot of product. The cap takes up half the packaging, which you don't see very often. It's something that you don't really think about until you see something like this in person, but it's an affordable lip oil. Like I said, it feels very nice on the lips. So this is what it looks like just on its own. I'm gonna wipe it off, put on Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude Lip Liner underneath, and put it on top. And I'm actually just gonna go off camera and finish up the rest of my look and come back to give you some initial thoughts on these products. All right, so this is the finished look. What do you think? I think it came out great. After all of the products for the most part worked out for me. Let me just give you like my quick speed reviews. These are, again, just my initial impressions. These are not my final thoughts. I have to continue using these things quite a few times. This Natasha Denona palette is really pretty. The quality of the shadows is very good. The usual quality I expect. And like I said earlier, I'm not gonna get some deep, dark, dramatic looks from this, but it is pretty for an everyday look, and I think it will be a good companion palette. The Tower 28 concealer, I'm actually really impressed by this. It still looks really nice under my eyes. Usually with a hydrating concealer, within moments, it looks like it's breaking up underneath my eyes, and this looks nice once I set it down. It does provide a medium coverage. The color K-Town, like I said, does work out perfectly for me. So be aware of that if you are interested in picking this up. You want to order maybe a little bit darker than you think you need to, because I'm never a medium when it comes to concealer. The Juvia's Place bronzer looks nice. I kind of already talked you through it. I'm a little on the fence about this one. The lip oil, I think, feels really nice. I kind of wish it smelt like sweet orange a little bit. That would have just like stepped it up a notch in my book, but it does not have a lot of product. But once it's on the lips, it looks and feels really, really nice. And I love this Fenty Beauty Cream blush. You already know that. I just got a different shade. The shade is really beautiful. It is a little more on the buildable side. I definitely have to build it up a lot to get like my desired pigmentation. I would say the only flop of this video is this Kaja wing stamp. I can see the benefits of it. Like I said, it provides some sort of guide that you can build off of. But for me, I don't know how often I'm gonna reach for this, I'll be honest with you, but I will continue using it. I will continue testing it out. Oh, and then the Benefit mascara I've been enjoying, so. I wanna hear from you now. Let me know down in the comments, have you picked any of these products up? What do you think about them? Have you been eyeing them? Have you been thinking about it? Are you just gonna skip? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I am gonna link everything down below in the description box. Everything I used off camera, on camera, it's all in the description box. And if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing before you leave. I do upload videos weekly and I'd love to see you back on my channel again. I wanna thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye.